Subscribe if you are making a part of wannafear channel.
Pastor Joseph was a priest in a small-town church. Recently, a series of traumatic events struck the local Christian community. Several houses caught fire, resulting in many people being burned, and some women were possessed by demons. Special prayers were organized in the church, and with Pastor Joseph's intervention, these women were freed from their demonic possession. And the house fire ceased. Nicholas and Philip, close companions of Pastor Joseph, assisted him throughout this ordeal. Unfortunately, Philip lost his life battling the demons. He had a special gift from God, the ability to see demons. After Philip's death, Pastor Joseph and Nicholas devised a plan. They would transplant one of Philip's eyes into Nicholas, granting Nicholas the same ability to see demons. They intended to promote their special abilities and launch a nationwide service, turning it into a profitable NGO. Dr. Ellen, a surgeon from the Christian hospital, assured them that the eye transplant had a 100% success rate. One night, Nicholas arrived at Pastor Joseph's house with Philip's eye ready for the operation. Pastor Joseph mentioned that Dr. Ellen would arrive soon, fully prepared. The operation was to be performed at the pastor's house, as it was a private matter. Pastor Joseph dreamed of becoming wealthy and famous by charging exorbitant fees for exorcisms and other spiritual services. Pastor Joseph lived alone in a building next to the church, where Sister Marie, a church servant, lived with her children in an adjacent room. She was responsible for Pastor Joseph's meals. The night, both Pastor Joseph and Nicholas eagerly awaited Dr. Allen's arrival. At 1 o'clock, the doorbell rang. Nicholas went to open the door, but suddenly froze. He heard a soft whisper in his ear. "Nicholas, you didn't do well." His heart raced and he felt a chilling thrill as the whispers grew louder. "Nicholas, you are out of time. I will not leave you." When Nicholas opened the door, he fell to the ground, dizzy. Dr. Ellen, standing outside, was alarmed. He checked Nicholas' pulse, which was rapid. Just as Dr. Ellen took out his stethoscope, Nicholas's eyes snapped open. He roared, "I'm all right." Dr. Ellen, stunned by the change in Nicholas, followed him inside. Pastor Joseph greeted Dr. Ellen and expressed his eagerness to proceed. Despite Nicholas's eerie silence, the operation began. Dr. Allen prepared his surgical instruments and administered anesthesia to Nicholas. By 2 o'clock, Philip's eye had been transplanted into Nicholas. The night was silent as Dr. Allen cleaned up the surgical instruments. Pastor Joseph, standing by, asked how long it would take for Nicholas to regain consciousness. Dr. Allen estimated half an hour, but ominously added, "If a doomsday comes before that, who will be responsible?" Pastor Joseph, terrified, tried to understand what Dr. Allen meant. Suddenly, Dr. Allen screamed and fell backward, dropping a bloody surgical knife. Nicholas, now awake, had grabbed the knife and stabbed Dr. Allen in the leg. As Pastor Joseph rushed to help Dr. Allen, Nicholas, possessed, attacked Pastor Joseph with the knife. A struggle ensued, the Nicholas's transplant eye falling out. He screamed and collapsed. Sister Marie, awakened by the noise, prayed for divine intervention and rang Pastor Joseph's doorbell. When there was no response, she called Father John. Half an hour later, Father John arrived and helped and broke down the door. They found Pastor Joseph, Dr. Ellen, and Nicholas unconscious, with Nicholas's eye bleeding profusely. A week later, Pastor Joseph went to the church to confess his sins to Father John. Filled with regret and shame, he admitted the greed for wealth blinded me and my companions. I am deeply sorry and I repent for my actions, which endangered lives. He promised never to sin again. Dr. Allen and Nicholas also confessed their sins, and Father John absolved them, restoring their faith.
If you enjoy animated horror stories like this, then subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.